I was on a mission to get justice for Shanann, Nico, Bella, and Celeste.
Think about, like, did I cause this?
Disappearance of a pregnant Frederick woman and her 2 children has captured the nation's attention.
This house is not complete without anybody here.
We see a lot of horrible stories where a husband kills his wife, but this one's different.
I could tell Chris was not comfortable with me rubbing his shoulder.
The district attorney says that he believes that Chris Watts will never reveal the full details of how or why he killed his family. He went on to say that this is a case that is actually going to haunt the folks who worked on it probably for the rest of their lives.
If it did have something to do with their disappearance, it would be really stupid for you to come in and take a polygraph.
Come give me a hug. Oh.
I can't get that image out of my head.
The story of Chris Watts isn't news. It's been covered on TV and in documentaries. Yet even with all that attention, the full depth of the deception and tragedy is more chilling than most realize. In the summer of 2018, America was shocked by a crime so terrible it felt like a story from a dark true crime book. Chris Watts, a husband and father from Frederick, Colorado, killed his pregnant wife, Shanann, and their 2 young daughters, Bella and Celeste. To the outside world, the Watts family looked perfect. They had a nice home, happy family photos on social media, and a father working hard to provide for them. But behind closed doors, their life was falling apart in ways no one could imagine. 34 years old Shanann Watts was outgoing and full of energy. She shared a lot about her life online, posting about her love for her family, proud moments with her daughters, and hopes for the future. She worked as a brand promoter for a health supplement company, often traveling for work, but always keeping her family in mind. Chris Watts was quiet and reserved. He worked as a technician at Anadarko Petroleum and was known in his neighborhood as polite and kind. Together, they seemed to have the perfect family life, stable, successful, and full of love. On social media, they looked flawless, a happy couple, 2 sweet daughters, a tidy home, and a 3rd child on the way. In June 2018, Shanann Watts shared the news that she was pregnant with their 3rd child in a fun and personal way. She wore a t-shirt that said, "We did it again," and recorded the moment at home with her husband, Chris Watts. In the video, she asked Chris to read the message on her shirt.
We did it again. I like that shirt. Really?
Really?
That's awesome. So pink means...
That's just the test.
I know. It just says the pink is going to be girls.
I don't know. Just the test.
That's awesome.
At first, he was surprised, then excited as he realized what it meant. Shanann's happy smile and playful tone made the announcement feel genuine and heartfelt, showing how much they focused on family at the time. She later posted the video on social media, where friends, family, and followers congratulated them. They celebrated the news that their family would soon welcome a baby boy, later named Nico. This joyful announcement became one of the last public glimpses of their family before the tragic events that followed. Shanann often shared motivational videos and posts about family life, calling Chris her rock. They seemed like the kind of couple neighbors admired and strangers envied. But behind the happy pictures, there were serious problems. The family was in debt, with a mortgage, medical bills, and credit card loans. Their 2015 bankruptcy was part of public records. While Shanann worked hard promoting health products, Chris was quietly drifting away from their seemingly perfect life. He had fallen in love with a co-worker, Nicole Kessinger. Nicole Kessinger and Chris Watts began their relationship in early summer of 2018 after meeting at work at Anadarko Petroleum. At the time, Chris Watts was married to Shanann Watts and was the father of 2 young daughters, with a 3rd child on the way. Although Chris told Nickel that he was separated and heading toward divorce, this was not true. As the relationship progressed, it became intense very quickly. Chris and Nickel were in constant communication, and he began pulling away emotionally from his family. During this period, Shanann was frequently traveling for work, and although she was away from home, she and Chris were still married and living as a family when she returned. It was during Shanann's work trips that Chris spent extended time with Nickel. The two went camping and took a weekend trip to the mountains, experiences that gave Chris a sense of freedom and escape from his family responsibilities. Nickel encouraged Chris to be more independent, to find his own place, and to begin building a completely new life. She reportedly won a marriage, children of her own, and a future that did not include Shanann or the children, a vision that appeared to deepen Chris's desire to leave his existing life behind. Meanwhile, Shanann did everything she could to save their marriage. She was carrying their 3rd child and believed their family could heal and stay together. Shanann Watts' relationship with her mother-in-law was reportedly tense and distant. Family members later said that Sherry didn't get along well with Shanann. Some sources suggested that Sherry thought Shanann was controlling or too outspoken, and there were signs of ongoing friction between Shanann and the Watts family even before the tragedy. In early August, while on a work trip to Arizona, Shanann confided in friends that something felt wrong. Chris had become distant, cold, and withdrawn. Still, she believed that counseling and talking things through might save their marriage. But when she returned home, on August 13, 2018, that hope died. The next morning, on August 13, 2018, Shanann's best friend, Nicole Atkinson, became alarmed when Shanann missed a scheduled 10 a.m. doctor's appointment and wasn't responding to texts or calls. Shanann was 15 weeks pregnant and had important appointments, so this was very unusual. Nicole called the police to request a welfare check.
Come together, and we were on the way back from the airport, and she's pregnant, and I haven't been able to get a hold of her this morning. She won't answer the door. She won't answer phone calls. She won't answer text messages.
What's her name?
Shanann Watts.
Alrighty, we do have a call in. Nicole will have an officer come out that way as soon as we can.
And also called Chris Watts at work to ask him to return home. Nicole went to the Watts house and knocked on the front door, but no one answered. She noticed Shanann's car was in the garage with the children's car seats still inside, something that didn't make sense if they had gone somewhere. She tried to open the front door, but a latch on the inside prevented it from opening more than a few inches. Police officers arrived before Chris did.
Nicole?
Yes.
Okay, so what's going on?
So my friend, we were out of town for a business trip this weekend.
Right.
And I dropped her off at 2 o'clock this morning. She's 15 weeks pregnant. She wasn't feeling well, and she had a doctor's appointment this morning at 9, and I told her to let me know if she needed me to take her. She's got 2 little girls. And she was very distraught over the weekend, wasn't eating normally or drinking, and we kept trying to force it on her because she's pregnant. Her husband and her supposedly are separating, but she didn't know this. She thought they were just having issues. He disclosed that to me today. Because I called him and I was like, have you talked or heard from Shanann since you left for work this morning? Because I can't get a hold of her. I've called, I've texted. Her car's in the garage. Her shoes she wears every single day are right in the front door.
She only has one vehicle?
No, they only have the one vehicle in his work truck.
Okay, that's what I'm asking. There's not a...
The girls and went on a play date, but they're 4 and 2. She went on a play date. Why wouldn't she take a car? They're both in car seats.
They waited for Chris to return because the garage keypad didn't work, so he had to arrive with his garage door remote. When Chris got home, he gave officers permission to search the house. Inside, they found Shanann's personal belongings, including her cell phone, purse, wallet, and medication, still in the house, items she would not normally leave behind if she had taken the children somewhere.
Does she work?
Yeah, she works from home.
Oh, from home?
She works distance her lifeline.
You guys have any kind of issues, marital issues, or?
We're going through a separation.
You are? Did you guys file it yet or anything, or just talking about it?
No, we're gonna sell the house. Do a separation.
How's that going? Going civil for the most part, or she tell you anything about leaving, moving out?
Not moving out. I mean, the last time I talked to her was this morning. She said she was going to take the kids to a friend's house, and then she asked where she was going to be. And then I've texted her today and never heard anything. But cars here, cars are here. Unless somebody came and picked her up. But the people that I know, nobody's heard from her, nobody's seen her.
Right.
And a pair of her shoes were also found near the front door. When police began investigating Shanann and her daughter's disappearance, they noticed something unusual in the Watts home. The sheets from the master bed were missing even though other signs didn't match a family leaving voluntarily, and some sheets and pillowcases were later found in the trash at the house. The fact that her medication and children's car seats were still at home made police even more concerned, because these were things Shanann would almost certainly take with her. This combination of Nicole's call, the police welfare check, and the unusual evidence in the house helped shift the situation quickly from a missing persons case to a major investigation. Body camera footage from that day showed Chris acting unnervingly calm. He walked around, gave explanations that didn't make sense. Within a few days, Chris's lies began to fall apart. One of the key pieces of evidence in the case came from a neighbor's home surveillance camera. The neighbor, Nathan Trinastich, had security cameras on his house that faced the Watts driveway and could record anyone coming and going. When police began investigating Shanann and the girl's disappearance, they learned that Nate had footage from the morning of August 13, 2018. He offered to show it to them because he thought if anything happened at the Watts house, his cameras would have caught it. Police, Chris Watts, and the neighbor went to Nate's home to watch the recordings together. The footage showed Chris's truck backed up into the garage early that morning and him moving things in and out of it, which was unusual and didn't fit Chris's story about the family. As they watched the video, Chris became visibly nervous.
Loaded my stuff up in my coolers, my water jugs, my book bag, my computers, some of the tools that I had in the toolbox. I knew I was going to have to do some pumping into rubbers today. That's why I was out so far.
He paced, fidgeted, and tried to explain what was happening.
My detective just showed up, so he'll probably want to talk to you. You'd probably, like I said, you might have you call at the bank and see if there's any kind of activity.
Because if there was any sort of action out there,
his cameras,
I would have got it.
Like we had issues the other week when people were stealing stuff out of like garages and stuff like that, and I had parked my truck
right here. Park right here.
Yeah, so someone I could see when someone tried to jimmy with a flathead screwdriver over there, and it was just like.
But if any action would have happened, any cars or anything left your house, I would have
been like right in that area. They should have picked.
Oh, it'll pick up anything coming down the street this way.
You know where that tree there too?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
At one point, he said he was loading work tools, but the neighbor told the officer that Chris's behavior seemed very out of character and suspicious.
Not after.
No.
He's never fidgeted. He's never rocking back and forth. And if you look, he never loads his stuff in and out of the garage ever.
Right.
He doesn't look worried. He looks like he's trying to cover his tracks. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And if he's loading his stuff, why isn't he walking back and forth? But I can't see what he's doing in the back of the truck because he pulls into the garage. Yeah. And he knows my camera's there. No, I'm just saying it's kind of odd that he pulls his truck back behind my camera. And he never backs his truck into the driveway.
Nate said Chris was usually quiet and calm, but on the video, he was talking a lot and acting strange, which made the neighbor think something was wrong.
You can ask them. He's normally quiet, real subdued. He's over here telling you 3 times what he took out, what he did. He's very, he never talks. So the fact that he's over here blabbing his mouth makes me kind of suspicious.
This neighbor's CCTV footage was one of the first times investigators began to doubt Chris's explanations, because it showed only Chris leaving the home that morning and not Shanann or the girls. contradicting Chris's earlier stories. The following day, August 14, 2018, Chris Watts stood on his front porch in Frederick, Colorado, and publicly pleaded for the safe return of his pregnant wife, Shanann, and their 2 young daughters.
I got home yesterday. It was like a ghost town. Like, she wasn't here. Kids weren't here. I have no idea like where they went. If she wasn't here, like where did she go? Like once I got here, it was like, all right, who can I call? If she's vanished, like I want her back so bad. I want those kids back so bad. Last night, I wanted that knock on the door. I wanted to see this kid just run in, just barrel rush me and just give me a hug and knock me on the ground. I'm hoping that somebody sees something or somebody knows something and comes forward. Right now, it's got K9 units, the sheriff's department. Everybody's like they're doing their best right now to figure out like if they can get a scent. I called her 3 times, texted her about 3 times just to say, you know, right now I don't even want to just like throw anything out there. Like I hope that she's somewhere safe right now and with the kids. That's why last night was just horrible. I couldn't do it. Shanann, Bella, Celeste, if you're out there, just come back. Like if somebody has her, just please bring her back. I need to see everybody. I need to see everybody again. This house is not complete without anybody here. Please bring her back.
To the cameras, he appeared to be a worried husband and father. To investigators, he was already the main suspect in one of the most chilling true crime cases in recent years. Within hours, his carefully constructed act began to crumble, revealing a timeline of lies, manipulation, and calculated cruelty that still shocks and fascinates people today. The story of Chris Watts is not just about the horrifying murder of his family, it's also a study of how a killer lies. Chris gave multiple confessions, each changing and reshaping itself, showing how he tried to control a story that was slipping away. As evidence built and investigators pressed him, each new version revealed his calculated attempts to explain his actions with rage, confusion, or memory problems. Even before physical evidence was fully examined, Chris started to reveal himself. In his first interviews with police and the media, he was skilled at avoiding the truth. Experts in body language noticed that he showed almost no real stress or pain on his face. Moments after speaking to a reporter, his mouth went dry, an unconscious sign of extreme anxiety he couldn't hide. The words he used were also telling. He talked about his missing family using distant pronouns like they, them, and those kids. This is called linguistic distancing, a psychological tactic where a person emotionally separates themselves from their victims. It was an early warning sign for investigators. His story was full of unlikely details. He claimed Shanann had taken the children to a friend's house after a fight, but he couldn't name the friend or give any details. The turning point came on August 15, 2018, during a polygraph test by the Colorado Bureau of Investigation.
Only 2 ways you can fail a polygraph, okay? The first way would be if you fail to follow my instructions. I'm going to give you a lot of instructions today about how to sit still, how to answer questions, things like that. So if you fail to follow those instructions, you will not pass today's test, okay? The second way would be if you choose to lie to me today. Obviously, this is about 100% truth. Even if there's, something that you didn't tell the investigators, since Monday, I guess, is when the police were involved. If there's something that you didn't tell them since Monday, that is totally fine. I get it. People aren't going to remember every single detail every time they talk to someone. As long as you tell me what the truth is today, you will have no problem with passing, okay? I promise you that. And obviously, I hope that, if you did have something to do with their disappearance, it would be really stupid for you to come in and take a polygraph today.
Exactly.
Right? It would be really dumb. You should not be here right now sitting in this chair if you had anything to do with Shanann and the little girl's disappearance. Okay?
The test is about to begin. Please remain still. Do you know where Shanann is now?
No.
So, you obviously are a really bad liar. Have people told you that before? The second you tell a lie, they can tell, on your face that, because the second you lie to the number 3, I don't know if you heard me clicking, but that is what I need to see as a polygrapher, because that tells me that you know it's wrong to tell a lie. and you're actually having a significant reaction when you lie, so that is awesome. So thank you for being a horrible liar. So that's a good thing. That's a good thing. We don't want to be good liars, so thank you for being a horrible liar.
When told he had failed and shown signs of lying, Chris could no longer keep his story straight. Investigators then used a careful strategy to get him to admit the truth. They offered him a face-saving way out. Agent Tammy Lee gently suggested a shocking possibility. Maybe Shanann hurt the kids. This gave Chris a scenario where he could admit to a smaller crime while shifting the ultimate blame.
You did not pass the polygraph test.
Okay.
Okay.
I did not lie on this polygraph. I am.
It's not even an option right now because you did not pass the polygraph, so I know you were being deceptive, so that's not even an issue right now. The issue right now is what happened to Shanann, Bella, and Celeste.
Like, I want them back home, like.
But you know they're not coming back home.
You guys were happy and thriving and productive, okay? And I believe that Shanann's the reason none of that happened. I believe that she's a controlling person. Maybe doesn't listen to you as much as she should. I think that she can do whatever she wants and you can't.
The goal wasn't to trick him. It was to give him a story he could accept, a way out where he could start talking without feeling like the worst person in the world. Chris didn't reject the idea.
Chris, did Shanann do something to them?
No, I don't know.
I'm serious.
I have no clue.
No, you would have known because they didn't leave the house. Did Shanann do something to them, and then did you feel like you had to do something to Shanann?
They were at the house when I left. They were there.
Maybe Shanann did it, and you felt compelled to fix this so Shanann didn't look bad. I feel like you cleaned up for her. But I don't know, you're not telling me that, so it makes me think the worst. Like, did you do that to all three of them?
I did not do anything to these kids.
Instead, he asked to speak to his father, Ronnie Watts. After he failed the polygraph test, Ronnie Watts had flown to Colorado to support his son after Shanann and the girls were reported missing, and he was present by the time Chris was being interviewed for the polygraph on August 15, 2018. Investigators made a split-second decision to let Ronnie join Chris in the interrogation room, a risky move, because Chris explicitly asked to speak to his father and detectives hoped it might help get the truth out. During that conversation with his father in the room, Chris began to admit parts of what happened, telling Ronnie a false story about Shanann and the children.
The polygraph failed it. Too much emotions. So, I mean, they're not going to let me go. Is there any reason why they shouldn't? They know I had an affair. Anything else you want to tell me? What's going on? I don't want to protect her. What? I don't want to protect her. She hurt him? Yeah. I can tell that hurt her. Your girl. Well, you guys want to. When I was downstairs, they came back up and they were gone. Did she kill him? They were blue. She took both of them to death. I freaked out at the same thing with her. So she killed OCC and Bell. Choked them to death. That's rage. I'm bad.
He claimed that he found Shanann strangling their daughters after he told her he wanted a separation. In a fit of uncontrollable rage, he said, he freaked out and killed her. This new confession was a deliberate legal strategy. By portraying himself as a man reacting to an unimaginable situation, he tried to appear not as a cold-blooded killer, but as a victim of circumstance. If believed, this version could have led to a manslaughter charge instead of first-degree murder, making it a key piece of the puzzle in this shocking crime. After Chris spoke with his father, detectives re-entered the room and began questioning Chris again based on what he had told Ronnie. While Chris Watts sat under questioning, police were quietly piecing together the physical trail he had left. Police began piecing together Chris Watts' movements from the morning of August 13th, using GPS data from his work truck. That GPS information showed he drove straight to a remote all-work site owned by Anadarko Petroleum, where he worked. Investigators identified a remote Anadarko oil field he had visited that morning. Drone surveillance was deployed over the site, scanning for anything unusual, and that's when they spotted it, a white bedsheet lying in the field near the oil tanks, one of the missing linens from the Watts home. The aerial view also revealed disturbed soil, a subtle but telling sign of a shallow grave. Ground teams moved in to investigate, confirming the horrific truth. They began the interrogation again carefully, starting with broad questions about his marriage and personal life. They asked if there was anyone else in his life, carefully observing his reactions. Chris initially denied seeing anyone, but when confronted with evidence from his phone, he admitted to an affair with his co-worker, Nicole Kessinger. This helped them break through his denials and contradictions, moving him closer to a full confession and revealing where the bodies were located.
Can you tell us what you told your dad?
I saw on the monitor, those covers were like pulled off and she was just laying there. She's blue. She was in there with her.
What happened?
I put my hands around my wife's neck and did that same thing.
Where are they now, Chris? To find your babies. Did the hard part. All you have left is to tell us where they're at.
They're gone. There's no bringing them back.
Well, where are they?
That's that first location I went to that day. That's 319.
So, Chris, are they in something? Are they under the ground? Like, how would you find them? You take us out there?
I thought there's no way I wanted to walk there. Are they all three out there, Chris? Yes.
What is that?
Those are 319.
Okay. Whereabouts is Shanann and the girls? Okay, can you mark it for me? The S for Shanann, okay. And where are the girls at?
Are they in the tanks?
What's in the tanks?
It's a mixture of oil and water.
There was a sheet found down here?
Mm-hmm.
Where's that from?
That was what Shanann was wrapped in.
I would hate for Shanann to get a bad rap if she didn't have anything to do with it. You know, it's not fair.
I know.
It's not fair. You want to tell us the truth?
That is true.
So you're good with the public knowing that Shanann killed her daughters?
I did not hurt these girls.
Are you okay with the public knowing that Shanann?
Yes, because I did not hurt these girls.
My daddy is a hero. He helps me grow up strong. He helped me snuggle too. He reads me books. He ties my shoes. If you're a hero, blue and blue, my daddy, I love you.
Investigators also spoke with Ronnie Watts, Chris's father, to learn more about his son's personality.
Can you kind of just give us a little bit of a background on their relationship and how long you had known her and kind of some background information together? What, 7 or 8 years as far as dating and stuff? Married about 5 years ago, I think it was, 5 or 6 years ago. And then as far as their relationship, it was fine. And then us, me and my wife, most of my wife's having a hard time getting on with her, but she's, my wife calls him narcissist, personality is what she thinks she is. Bipolar also. She has these mood swings and stuff, and she just said she don't realize how unstable she was. Who said that? That's what I'm doing. When did they say that? Well, he was probably last 4 days ago, whatever. And this place he is, he was bipolar, 0-16, no time.
Ronnie's insights helped police understand Chris better and gave them a way to spot inconsistencies between what Chris said and what those who knew him observed. On the night of August 13th, Shanann returned home from a business trip. Security cameras captured her entering the house for the last time at 1:48 a.m., and within hours, she was dead. Chris later admitted that he strangled Shanann after she confronted him about the affair. What happened next turned this crime into one of the most horrifying in recent American history. He loaded his wife's body and his 2 daughters, still alive at the time, into his work truck and drove 45 miles to a remote oil site owned by his employer, Anadarko Petroleum. There, in the shadows of oil tanks, he suffocated his daughters one by one. He then forced their small bodies through the 8-inch openings on top of separate oil tanks, submerging them in crude oil to hide the evidence. Shanann's body was buried in a shallow grave nearby. Chris Watts tried to claim that Shanann had killed the children and that he had acted in a rage. But DNA and autopsy results proved the truth. He alone was responsible for all their deaths. Chris Watts had destroyed his entire family. Once investigators identified the Anadarko oil field as the site where Chris Watts had taken his family, the retrieval process began. The oil tanks where the children had been placed were almost full of crude oil, which made access extremely difficult. Recovery teams had to drain the tanks slowly, using pumps to remove the oil in stages. Each step was carefully monitored and filtered, both to protect the responders from hazardous fumes and to preserve any forensic evidence. Teams wore protective gear and worked in shifts, as the task was physically demanding and dangerous. The process took many hours, nearly 14 in total, because of the depth and volume of the tanks and the need to avoid disturbing any evidence. At the same time, investigators examined the surrounding area, noting disturbed soil that led them to Shanann's shallow grave nearby. Every stage of the recovery was meticulously documented. Photographs, GPS mapping, and notes ensured that the scene could be fully reconstructed. All field personnel assisted in managing the tanks, and investigators coordinated carefully to maintain the integrity of the evidence. The careful, methodical approach allowed authorities to recover all 3 victims, confirm the sequence of events, and directly link the physical evidence to Chris Watts' confessions. Even with the challenges of the tanks, the recovery process demonstrated the precision and persistence of the investigative team, revealing the tragic reality hidden beneath a remote oil field. Chris Watts tried to claim that Shanann had killed the children and that he had acted in a rage. But DNA and autopsy results proved the truth. He alone was responsible for all their deaths. Chris Watts had destroyed his entire family. On November 6, 2018, facing overwhelming evidence and the possibility of the death penalty, Chris Watts pleaded guilty to 9 felony counts, including 5 counts of first-degree murder. 2 of these counts were aggravated because the victims were children.
Mr. Watts, why did you kill your wife and 2 children?
Today, prosecutors filed a motion requesting fingerprints, cheek swabs, and hand pictures from Chris Watts. They believe Watts is responsible for all 3 deaths.
Christopher Watts has pleaded guilty to killing his pregnant wife, Shanann, and 2 young daughters, Bella and Celeste, and their unborn son, Nico.
He was sentenced to 5 life terms without parole, plus 84 additional years for tampering with the bodies and the unlawful termination of Shanann's pregnancy.
Tonight, Watts sits in a Wisconsin prison serving his 3 life sentences without any possibility of parole.
The district attorney told us is that they considered making a part of the plea agreement that Christopher Watts would have to confess more about what happened that night.
At the hearing, Shanann's father, Frank Ruchek, read a powerful impact statement. He called Chris a heartless monster, saying he had trusted him to care for his daughter and grandchildren.
How dare you take the lives of my daughters Shanann, Bella, Celeste, and Nico. I trusted you to take care of them, not kill them. And they also trusted you. You monster. Thought you would get away with this. I don't know how. The cameras do not lie. You carry them out like trash of the house. Yes, I seen the videotape. You buried my daughter Shannon and Nico in a shallow grave, and then you put Bella and Celeste in huge containers of crude oil. You heartless monster. You have to live with this vision every day of your life, and I hope you see that every time you close your eyes at night. Oh, I forgot. You have no heart or feelings or love. Let me tell you something. I will think of them every day of my life, and I love them every day of my life. Prison is too good for you. This is hard to say, but may God have mercy on your soul. I hope you enjoy your new life. It's nothing like the one you had out here. Love you, Shannon, Bella, and Nico. Love you, Pop and Dad. And one other thing. And Shannon says she is super excited for justice today. Thank you, Your Honor.
Shanann's brother had his statement read aloud in court by an official, saying Chris took away my whole world and that there wasn't a day he didn't cry for his family.
He has asked me to read his statement for him, but he would like to stand with me if that's okay. Of course. You went from being my brother, my sister's protector, one of the most loved people in my family, to someone I will spend the rest of my life trying to understand. What gave you the right to put your hands on a woman, let alone my best friend, my beloved sister, your daughters, and your son? Why weren't they enough for you? In the blink of an eye, you took away my whole world, the people that mattered to me the most. Everything in my life I loved, your children. They trusted you. They loved you. They looked up to you because you promised to keep them safe. Instead, you turned on your family. My blood is boiling as I write these last words because they are the last you will ever hear from me. I can't even think of the right words to describe the betrayal and the hate I feel. And to be honest, you aren't even worth the time and effort it takes to put my pen to this paper. There isn't a day that goes by that I don't cry for my family. They were my whole world. All I do is ask myself why. Why would you do this? You don't deserve to be called a man. What kind of person slaughters the people that love them the most? Did you really think you would get away with this? Did you really think that this was your best option, to throw away your family like they were garbage? They deserve better and you know it. I hope you spend the rest of your life staring at the ceiling every night, being haunted by what you've done. Shanann, Bella, and Cece loved you more than anyone. You were their hero. How could you destroy the people who loved them the most? I pray that you never have a moment's peace or a good night's rest in the cage you'll spend every day of your life in. A cage you are privileged to live in because my family isn't evil like you. My life will never be the same because of you, but at least my conscience is clear. I get to live free, but I can't say the same for you. I haven't slept in 2 days because I've been anxiously waiting for this moment, the moment I get to tell you how I feel, how this has affected my family and I. My family and I can finally grieve after today. If anything, we will come out of this stronger today than we were before, and we will continue to pray for your family. Sincerely, Frankie Rusick.
He described Shanann and her daughters as the most important people in his life. Chris's parents, Cindy and Ronnie Watts, shared written statements and spoke in court.
The prosecution in this case has in fact respected the Victim Bill of Rights. They took the time to explain that the information that my clients had at the time that they were interviewed was not correct. They were misinformed. They were searching for answers. They were not intending to cause any pain to anyone. And they appreciate that the prosecution answered their questions and gave them the time and the respect and the consideration so that they could tell this court and everyone in this community that the interview content was not their message, that they accept that their son has done this, that they accept that he chose to plead guilty, that he sought and requested their consent and agreement for a life sentence. My clients indicate that they understand that a full opportunity for a confession with all of the responsibility and accountability has not occurred. And they support the family and the request that that happen, if not today, at an appropriate time, in an appropriate manner, so that everyone can have peace. to understand, to the best of their ability, the details that they need and to have their questions answered. And by giving this opportunity of a life sentence and to give a full confession.
We will always mourn the loss of our family, and in that we are united in our grief. I am still struggling to understand how and why this tragedy occurred. I may never be able to understand and accept it, but I pray for peace and healing for all of us. Now to my son Christopher, I have known you since the day you were born into this world. I have watched you grow from a quiet and sweet, curious child who Bella reminded me so much of, to a young man who worked hard in sports and later mechanics to achieve your goals. You are a good friend, brother, father, and son. We have loved you from the beginning, and we still love you now. This might be hard for some to understand how I can sit here under these circumstances and tell you, although we are heartbroken, although we can't imagine what could have led us to this day, but we love you. Maybe you can't believe it either. As the Lord said in Jeremiah 3:31, I have loved you with an everlasting love. Therefore, I have continued my faithfulness to you. And you, as your mother, Chris, I have always loved you, and I still do. I hate what has happened. Your father and sister and I are struggling to understand why. But we will remain faithful as your family, just as God remains faithful because of his unconditional love for us all. We love you, and we forgive you, son.
Unlike Shanann's family, they expressed love and forgiveness for their son. They said they were heartbroken and confused about what happened, but hoped he could find peace and meaning despite his sentence. They also prayed for healing for both families. Around this time, Chris's mother made controversial comments suggesting she believed parts of her son's earlier story and questioned aspects of the case. These statements drew strong reactions from the public and Shanann's family. Today, Chris Watts is in solitary confinement at Dodge Correctional Institution in Wisconsin, far from Colorado. Prison officials say he is kept in isolation for his own safety. Other inmates have threatened to kill him because of what he did. Chris's affair with Nicole Kessinger became one of the most controversial parts of the case. Investigators learned that in the days before the murders, she was searching online for wedding dresses and how to prepare for a man with kids. After the crimes, she deleted all their text messages. Although police ultimately cleared her of any criminal involvement, many people believe she knew more than she admitted. The line between ignorance and complicity made her a lasting figure in the public imagination, the mysterious other woman in a case that mixed love, lust, and destruction. The recovery of the bodies affected even the most experienced detectives. The brutality of how the bodies were disposed of, tiny children forced into industrial oil tanks, left a mark that time cannot erase. The case also changed true crime storytelling. Netflix's documentary American Murder, The Family Next Door shocked viewers by using real police footage, text messages, and Shanann's own videos to show how an ordinary family could collapse overnight. It became a reflection of modern society, how perfect-looking lives on social media can hide deep, painful secrets. Experts call this case a family annihilation, when a parent, usually a husband, kills their entire family to escape shame or failure. Prosecutors said Chris wanted a new life, one without debt, responsibilities, or the pressures of being a husband and father. But instead of choosing divorce, he chose to erase everything. He wanted to start over, one investigator said. But he didn't want to lose what came with his old life, the house, the money, the image, so he destroyed it. Years later, the Watts case remains a chilling reminder of duality, the smiling Facebook dad hiding a monster underneath. In letters from prison, Chris says he has found God and seeks forgiveness. Shanann's family says forgiveness can never bring back the lives he took. In a prison interview with investigators, Watts provided a fuller account of what happened the morning of the murders. He described how he killed his wife Shanann after an argument about their relationship and affair. He also spoke about what he told police regarding the children and how events unfolded, including moments when the children were awake and asking questions. In that interview, he said that Bella, his older daughter, cried out "Daddy, no," a detail that haunts him and that he says he hears in his mind.
Hey, Chris.
Chris?
Do you remember us?
Yes. Yeah.
Hey.
I see. I just took a moment there. Good to see you.
Different. How are you doing?
I'm okay. How about you guys? Good. Good. I did not expect to see this, that's for sure.
Surprised.
Yeah.
Well, let me put some fears aside. We're not here for what you might think we might be here for. So you remember, I talked to you, Tammy talked to you, Dave talked to you. We're all from Colorado. And so the last time we talked to you was a different situation, right? Our investigation was open and your case was open. That's completely different now. So your case is completely closed. Nothing about what we're going to talk about today has anything to do with an open investigation. So we're not here to get more charges on you or get any statements from you that are going to jam you up anymore. But why we are here, and as the months have passed on since everything happened, we just keep in touch with each other and we keep talking to each other. And we've all separately kind of said, if Chris's situation seemed different to you, we think that your life leading up to all the things that happened were very interesting to us. I've never ever worked a case like this where someone told me that ever. In talking with Tammy and talking with Dave, I said, you know, what did you feel like when it all went down? When we were there, we were talking to you guys, and we all kind of, in our own different way and in our own different wording, said it all happened a bit too quick for us, right? So we saw you last, we were talking and talking and talking, and then the next thing you know, me and Tammy and for Dave, all of a sudden some patrol officers came in and arrested you. And that was far quicker than we had hoped it would happen. And you understand why that happened, and we understand why that happened. But it left us with 1,000 questions that we didn't get to ask. And then even more importantly, I think it probably left you with 1,000 things that you didn't get to talk about with us. I don't know if you feel that way or not, but, and so that's why we're here today. We wanted to kind of talk to you a little bit more about everything.
She like kind of rolled over and then I was just like right there on top of her.
Okay. And then you're talking while you're on top of her? Okay. That seems confusing to me. Quite a few people who would tell us and who do tell us, you need to look into Nikki more, Nikki Kissinger. All the way from the extreme end of things being Nikki's the one who ordered the hit.
She was there. I'm in the basement.
You were there.
Yeah.
You know, so the extreme is she's the one who told Chris to do it. She's the real problem. All the way, that's the extreme side, and then all the way to, well, there were these texts where she was infatuated, she was in love, she was saying how good Chris was in the sack, and maybe we should look at her more. And so, are those people absolutely wrong about Nikki? She wasn't asking you to get rid of your family. Are you sure? Okay. And no part of any of this was because she put it in your head or asked you to, or
you never, I mean.
In recent handwritten letters, Watts has written that he believes he is now a new man and has found forgiveness through religious faith, saying he has confessed his sins and feels God has separated him from them. Since his imprisonment, Chris has received and responded to letters from people on the outside, especially after documentaries about the case aired. Some of these letters have come from women who express sympathy or even romantic interest, and he has written back to several pen pals. In a world obsessed with appearances, the murders of the Watts family show that sometimes the most horrifying monsters are not strangers in the dark, but the people we trust most, sitting next to us at the dinner table. The Watts case remains a chilling reminder of how appearances can deceive. Chris Watts is behind bars, serving life without parole, while Shanann and her daughters are gone forever. Their story is a warning that sometimes the greatest monsters are not strangers, but the people we trust most. If this story moved you, share it with someone who needs to hear it, and always remember to look beneath the surface. The truth is often hidden in plain sight.